The rain hammered Manhattan's skyline like 1,000 accusations, but inside the glass tower of Sterling Enterprises, the storm felt personal. I froze in the doorway of Mason Hale's corner office, my heart slamming against my ribs as his voice, low, broken, laced with something raw, cut through the dark. Noah. God, Noah, don't leave me like this. He wasn't on the phone. No one else was there. Just him, slumped over his desk, clutching a photo of us from that godforsaken team-building retreat in the Hamptons, the one where I'd caught him staring at me a beat too long. It wasn't the words that gutted me. It was the way he said my name, like a prayer he'd been choking back for years, soft and desperate, unraveling the Ice King I'd built my life around. I'd been his assistant for 3 years, fetching his black coffee, dodging his Arctic glares, convincing myself the butterflies in my stomach were just indigestion from late nights. But now I wondered if every curt memo, every brush of his hand against mine during board meetings, had been a lie he told himself too. I backed away before he could see me, my loafers silent on the marble floor, but the echo of my name lingered like smoke. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was a dream, until the elevator dinged, and there he was, eyes bloodshot, tie askew, murmuring my name again like a curse he couldn't shake. The fluorescent hum of the 52nd floor was my alarm clock, buzzing me awake at 6:45 a.m. Sharp, 5 days a week. Sterling Enterprises wasn't just a job. It was a pressure cooker disguised as a Fortune 500 tech firm, where dreams went to die under piles of NDAs and quarterly reports. And me, Noah Ellis, 28, fresh off a botched MFA in creative writing from NYU because apparently turning heartbreak into haikus didn't pay the rent in Brooklyn. I was the grease that kept the wheels turning for Mason Hale, CEO and walking embodiment of frostbite. Mason was the kind of man who made boardrooms bleed obedience. 6'3", broad-shouldered, with hair the color of midnight oil slicked back just so, and eyes like shattered emeralds, green, piercing, always calculating 3 moves ahead. He didn't smile, he approved. He didn't chat, he delegated. Whispers in the break room called him the Ice Baron, a title he'd earned freezing out competitors and climbing the ranks from a nobody in Queens to this penthouse throne. Me? I was invisible. The guy who anticipated his 7 a.m. espresso with a single pump of oat milk, who color-coded his calendar like it was abstract art, who laughed off the overtime because staring at his signature on emails felt like decoding hieroglyphs. That morning, post-whisper apocalypse, I slunk into the executive suite like a thief, my reflection in the polished doors mocking me. Tousled brown hair I couldn't tame, wire-rimmed glasses slipping down my nose, and a button-up that screamed reliable, not remarkable. The office smelled of leather and ambition. Mason's cologne, a sharp citrus bite, lingering like a ghost. I dropped his coffee on the desk, fired up his triple monitors, and buried myself in emails, willing the night before to dissolve like bad takeout. Noah, his voice sliced through at 7:02, smoother than usual, no edge. I jolted, nearly appending the stapler. He loomed in the doorway, suit impeccable, charcoal gray, tailored to his swimmer's build, holding his phone like it offended him. The Tokyo merger files. Now, already on your desktop, sir, I replied, voice steady as a surgeon's hand, though my pulse betrayed me. Our eyes met for a split second, his flecked with something unguarded, gone before I could name it. Was it regret, or just the remnants of whatever bourbon-fueled breakdown I'd eavesdropped on? He nodded, sinking into his ergonomic throne, but not before murmuring, "Thanks. You're invaluable." The word hung heavy, like he meant more than spreadsheets. I fled to my desk outside his glass walls, cheeks burning, fingers flying over keys to schedule his day. 8 a.m. Investor call, noon lunch with the venture capitalists from Silicon Valley. For p.m. pitch to the board on the AI ethics overhaul. By lunch, I convinced myself the whisper was a hallucination. Maybe he'd been on a call with his ex, that venture capitalist ghost from his past, or practicing a eulogy for his career. Mason Hale didn't do vulnerability, he patented it. But vulnerability stalked me that afternoon. During the investor call, I patched in from the antechamber, earpiece in, scribbling notes. Mason's voice boomed, all velvet steel. "Gentlemen, Sterling isn't just innovating, we're redefining trust in an era of data vampires." Laughter rippled through the line, and I smiled despite myself, picturing him leaning forward, sleeves rolled up to those veined forearms that made my throat dry. Then, a glitch, static, then his mic unmuted too soon. "Noah, pull up the Q3 projections, wait, no, the sensitivity analysis." A pause, then softer, almost to himself, "Christ, Ellis, get it together." The investors chuckled it off as CEO charm, but I heard the slip, the way my last name twisted like an endearment. I patched the file through, heart in my sneakers, and spent the rest of the call dissecting every inflection. Was I reading tea leaves, or was the ice baron thawing? One accidental whisper at a time. Lunch was a solo affair at my desk. Turkey wrap from the cart downstairs, chased with lukewarm coffee, while Mason wined and dined the VCs at Le Bernardin. I imagined him there, charming them with stories of bootstrapping from his immigrant mom's Queens apartment, turning scraps into Silicon empires. That's what the company bio said. Anyway, the real Mason, a cipher. No social media, no scandals, just rumors of a broken engagement to some Wall Street princess who'd bailed when his ambition outpaced her trust fund. By 3 p.m., the office thinned, Friday Eve fever, and I was knee-deep in redlining the pitch deck when his door swung open. "Noah, walk with me," not a request. I grabbed my tablet, trailing him to the elevator, the air between us crackling like live wire. We descended in silence, his reflection in the steel doors a study in tension, jaw clenched, fingers drumming his thigh. The lobby spat us out into the November chill, wind whipping down Fifth Avenue like it had a grudge. Yellow cabs honked, pedestrians bundled in scarves, the holiday lights on Saks already twinkling mockingly. "The printer's jammed again," he lied, obviously, since I'd fixed it at dawn. "Need your magic touch." We ducked into the FedEx around the corner, a fluorescent purgatory of cardboard and ink fumes. While he pretended to browse shipping options, I crouched by the ancient machine, coaxing paper from its jaws. That's when it happened. Our hands brushed, his cool against my flushed skin, as he handed me a crumpled label. Time stuttered. His eyes locked on mine, green fire in the harsh light, and for a heartbeat, the world narrowed to the pulse in his wrist, the faint scar from some boyhood scrape I'd never asked about. "Sorry," he muttered, pulling back like I'd burned him. But his voice, low, ragged, carried the ghost of the whisper. "Noah." I straightened, label in hand, throat tight. "All good, Mr. Hale, Mr. Hale." The formality was my shield, but it cracked under his gaze. We walked back in loaded quiet, rain spitting from gray skies, and I wondered if he'd heard my name echo in his head too. That night, back in my shoebox walk-up in Bushwick graffiti walls, radiator hissing like a kettle, I poured a glass of cheap Merlot and stared at my phone. No messages from friends. My social life was as barren as Mason's calendar on Sundays. Instead, I scrolled his LinkedIn creepy, I know, linging on that Hamptons photo, him in chinos, me in a ridiculous Hawaiian shirt from the Icebreaker, both of us laughing at some dumb trust fall gone wrong. His arm slung casual over my shoulder, my grin wide, oblivious. The wine soured in my mouth. What if the whisper wasn't a fluke? What if the man who'd built an empire on control was crumbling over me? A gay nobody from Ohio, out since 16, who'd fled Bible Belt whispers for Big Apple anonymity. I texted my best friend, Lena, a drag queen barista with zero filter. Overheard boss say my name like I'm his lifeline. Delusional? Her reply pinged instant. Bitch, that's rom-com gold. Or HR nightmare. Bill. I spilled, everything but the terror twisting my gut. Because if Mason Hale saw me as more than coffee boy, what then? The company's anti-fraternization policy was ironclad. One wrong move, and I'd be blacklisted from every tech gig in the tri-state. But worse, rejection from the one man whose approval I'd chased without knowing why. Sleep came fitful, dreams of green eyes and whispered please. Monday loomed like a verdict. The week blurred into a fever dream of proximity. Mason's demands sharpened. Stay late for the Tokyo revisions. Join the red eye to DC for the ethics panel, but his tone softened at the edges. A good work here, a lingering glance there. During the flight, crammed shoulder to shoulder in first class, his knee pressed mine under the armrest, neither pulling away. Read this, he said, passing a dog-eared copy of The Great Gatsby, his thumb brushing my knuckle. Reminds me of us, chasing illusions in the city lights. The word detonated silent, and I buried my nose in the pages, heart hammering. Gatsby's green light felt too on the nose, a beacon of what-ifs across the bay. DC was a whirlwind. Panels on AI bias, schmoozing senators, Mason in his element, charismatic, untouchable. But at the hotel bar that night, post-reception, he slid onto the stool beside me, scotch in hand, tie loosened like a confession. The lounge hummed with lobbyists and jazz, dim lamps casting shadows that danced like secrets. "You're quiet tonight," he said, swirling his glass. Ice clinked, mirroring the knot in my chest. "Just processing the win, sir." I sipped my gin and tonic, the lime bitter on my tongue. "Mason," he corrected, voice dropping. "Outside the office, Noah." "Call me Mason." The bartender chose that moment to flirt shamelessly. Tall, tattooed, all easy smiles, and Mason's jaw ticked, his hand flexing on the bar. Jealousy? No. Absurd. But when the guy backed off, Mason leaned in, breath warm against my ear. "You deserve better than watered-down drinks and watered-down conversations." My laugh was shaky. Says the king of both. His eyes darkened, storm clouds over emeralds. "Not with you. Never with you." The air thickened, charged, and I swear he leaned closer, lips parting, the whisper from that rainy night reborn in the space between us. Then his phone buzzed, board emergency. "Tokyo's leaking." He drained his scotch, stood abrupt. Rain check. I nodded, watching him go, the word us echoing louder than the jazz. Back in New York, the thaw accelerated. He started small, inviting me to strategy lunches, crediting me in meetings. Noah's insight on the bias algorithm saved our asses. Colleagues noticed, eyebrows arching over coffee cups. Lena cornered me at her drag brunch in the village. Honey, your boss is eye-fucking you harder than a grinder thirst trap. What's the tea? No tea. I lied, cheeks flaming. Just professional respect, she cackled, adjusting her wig. Respect? That's code for, I want to ruin you professionally and personally. Own it, Noah. You're queer as fuck. Live a little before he ices you out for good. Her words haunted me as I prepped for the holiday gala. Sterling's black tie blowout at the Met. Mason requested my input on the speech. Make it human, Noah. Less robot overlords. More heart. I wove in stories of his Queen's roots, the mom who'd sewn his first suit from thrift scraps. When he rehearsed it in the office, voice cracking on family isn't blood, it's the ones who stay, his eyes found mine across the desk. Gratitude, or something deeper, clawing free? The gala night arrived in a swirl of velvet ropes and champagne flutes, the Met's Temple of Dender glowing under chandeliers like a mirage. I felt out of place in my rented tux, off the rack from Men's Warehouse, no match for the bespoke armor of the elite. Mason, though, devastating. Black tux hugging his frame, cufflinks glinting like stars, hair tousled just enough to humanize the god. He found me by the bar, nursing a flute, dodging small talk with the CFO's wife. Dance with me, he said, not asking, hand extended. The band swung into Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon, and I let him pull me onto the floor, bodies close in the crush, his palm warm at my waist. You're a natural, he murmured, leading with effortless grace, breath ghosting my temple. Lie, I whispered back, dizzy from proximity, from the cologne that now haunted my dreams. But for you, I'll pretend. His grip tightened, thumb tracing my spine, a spark, electric. Don't pretend, Noah. Not with me. The song ended too soon, applause scattering us. He vanished into a knot of donors, but later, on the terrace overlooking Central Park, slick with December frost, he reappeared. Snow flurried soft, city lights blurring below. That speech. You made me sound almost redeemable. You are, I said, bold from bubbles. Under all the frost, he stepped closer, wall of heat against the cold, and for a heartbeat, I thought he'd kiss me. Lips inches away, name on his tongue again, soft as sin. Then his phone shattered it, leak confirmed. PR nightmare. He cursed, storming off, leaving me shivering in more ways than one. The leak hit like a grenade in the boardroom Monday morning. Tokyo merger docs splashed across TechCrunch. Proprietary AI code, partner bids, the works. Accusations flew. Mason's head on the chopping block. Whispers of insider sabotage. He paced like a caged panther, barking orders, while I scrambled behind the scenes. Damage control emails, loyalty oaths from the team, a fortress of NDAs thicker than fog. By noon, the vultures circled. Reporters camped the lobby, flashing bulbs through the glass like paparazzi strobes. Mason holed up in his office, blinds drawn, emerging only to snap at interns. Me? I was his buffer, fielding calls from furious investors, my inbox a war zone. Noah, hold the line, he'd say, voice frayed, hand on my shoulder a second too long, anchoring, or apology. That touch lingered as I worked late, the tower emptying around us. Pizza boxes littered my desk, greasy pepperoni solace. When he appeared, sleeves rolled, shadows under his eyes like bruises. Join me? He jerked his head toward the conference room, unopened bottle of Glenfiddich in hand. We migrated there, away from prying glass walls, the city a glittering accusation below. He poured 2 fingers, neat, sliding one across the oak table. To surviving the apocalypse. Cheers. I clinked, the scotch burning smooth. Silence stretched, heavy with unsaid. Finally, any leads on the leak? His laugh was bitter, hollow. Plenty suspects. My ex's firm sniffing around. Or that prick VP from R&D. Jealousy's a hell of a motive. He leaned back, tie yanked loose, vulnerability cracking the facade. Or maybe I did it myself. Self-sabotage, old habit. I frowned, swirling the amber. Why say that? Eyes on his glass. Because everything I touch turns to ash. Noah. The engagement, she left because I couldn't feel. Too buried in this. He gestured at the skyline, the empire. Mom died thinking I was unbreakable. But I'm just broken. The confession hung, raw, and my chest ached. For the boy from Queens, for the man who'd whispered my name like salvation. You're not, I said soft. I've seen you fight for this place. For your people. He looked up, gaze piercing. For you. Every late night, every win, it's for you, keeping you close. Time fractured. The room spun, scotch forgotten, as he reached across, fingers lacing mine, calluses rough from gym weights, from life. Noah. Alarms blared, security breach, lower floors. The leak's ghost, or worse. He yanked away, mask slamming down. Stay here, gone in a blur, leaving me with the echo of almost. The crisis drag days, FBI interviews, forensic sweeps, Mason grilled like a suspect. I shadowed him, loyal shadow, but tension coiled tight. Colleagues side-eyed me, too close to the fire, and Lena warned over FaceTime, babe, if he's using you as emotional support porn, bail. Queers deserve more than crumbs. But crumbs felt like feasts when he'd text at midnight. Can't sleep. Your speech notes. Read them again? I'd send voice memos, reciting lines from my laptop, voice steady while my heart raced. Once, bleary-eyed, thanks. Your voice grounds me. By Friday, the culprit surfaced, R&D VP, bitter over a past promotion, selling to competitors for Coke money. Mason fired him public press conference in the atrium. All steel resolve. Betrayal cuts deep, but sterling rises. Applause thundered, cameras flashed, and as he stepped off the podium, his hand found my elbow. Private thanks, thumb stroking once. That night, relief party at the Dead Rabbit Whiskey Den in Phi D. Sterling crew loosening ties. Mason cornered me by the dartboard. Third round of Irish in him. Cheeks flushed. Dance? The jukebox wailed Adele. Someone like you, irony thick. We swayed in the crush. Bodies flush. His chin grazing my hair. I meant it, he breathed. About keeping you close. Too close. Maybe. My hands fisted his shirt. Mason. His lips brushed my temple. Not quite kiss, but promise. Tell me to stop. I didn't. Instead, don't. The song faded, but we didn't, stumbling into a cab. His address punched in, my resolve crumbling. His penthouse atop the tower. Minimalist chic. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing the bridge lights. King bed a sea of white. He poured wine, Cabernet this time, hands shaking as he handed me the glass. Noah, I haven't. Since her. But you're in my head. Every meeting, every dream. I set the glass down, stepping into his space, the air electric. Show me. Our mouths crashed. Desperate, hungry, years of tension igniting. His lips firm, tasting of wine and want, hands roaming my back, pulling me flush. I gasped into him, fingers in his hair, tugging the slick strands free. He groaned low, primal, backing me against the window, cold glass shocking my spine, his heat the counterpoint. Clothes shed in a frenzy. Tuck's jacket pooled, shirt buttons popped, his chest bare, sculpted, dusted with dark hair, a tattoo over his heart, strength in solitude, ironic now. My hands explored, tracing scars, dipping lower, his breath hitching as I palmed him through slacks. Fuck. Noah, yes. He lifted me effortless, Jim God perks, carrying to the bed, laying me down like fragile. Kisses trailed, jaw, throat, collarbone, nipping marks I'd hide come morning. I arched, whispering his name like mantra, legs wrapping his waist. He paused, eyes searching mine, green oceans of doubt. This isn't just tonight. I want all of it. I cut in, pulling him down. Skin on skin, slick and urgent, his fingers prepping me slow, reverent, murmurs of beautiful and mine. When he entered, gentle, inch by inch the world narrowed to fullness, to rhythm, to the way he whispered my name against my neck, soft as the rain that started pattering the glass. We shattered together, cries muffled in sheets, bodies trembling aftermath. He held me after, arm banded tight, like I'd vanish. Stay, he breathed. Just stay. I did, till dawn painted the sheets gold. Morning brought coffee in bed, his brew, black for him, oat milk latte for me, and tentative talk. The policy, I started, tracing his tattoo. H.R. Wood. Fuck the policy. He kissed my knuckles. I'll rewrite it. For us. The word bloomed, terrifying, thrilling. We dressed slow, stolen touches, lazy grins, and rode down together, hands brushing in the elevator, a secret shared. But secrets fester. By lunch, emails pinged. Anonymous tip to the board, Hale's distraction. Assistant affair? Attached. Blurry gala photo. Our dance too close. Panic clawed. Mason's face ashen in the next meeting, firing off denials. Damage control. He snapped at me later. Alone. Say nothing. Hurt bloomed hot. I'm not a liability. You're everything, he hissed, cupping my face. That's why it scares me. The board summoned him that afternoon, interrogation disguised as concern. I paced outside. Lena on speed dial told you. Run. He emerged stone-faced, cleared. For now. But the frost returned, walls up higher. Dinners cancelled, texts curt. A week later, over drinks at his place, he dropped the bomb. I'm sending you to the London office. 6 months. Promotion, junior exec. Exile. Gilded. Because of us? Because I can't think straight with you here. His voice cracked. It's killing me, Noah. The leak. The scrutiny, if they suspect. Betrayal stung sharp. So I'm the problem? Shipped off like baggage? No, he reached, but I jerked away. Save it. I stormed out, cab roaring into the night, tears hot on my cheeks. London, a dream for some, but for me, it reeked of sacrifice, of him choosing empire over us. London was a gray blur of fog and formality, the Thames mocking me with its relentless flow while my heart backpedaled across the Atlantic. Sterling's UK branch was a sleek outpost in Canary Wharf, glass and steel, echoes of Manhattan but colder, lonelier. Junior exec title came with a corner office, tiny, by NYC standards, a team of sharp Brits who eyed my American drawl like an exotic pet, and a flat in Shoreditch that smelled of damp wool and regret. First week. Orientation. Handshakes. Pitching AI ethics to EU regulators. I threw myself in late nights at the pub with colleagues, charming pints of bitter, quoting Gatsby to deflect questions about the Hail Magic. But alone, scrolling Mason's feed, heat caved, made one, curated empire porn, the ache gnawed. No calls, sparse texts, settling in, board meeting hell. Professional frost, thawing only in emojis, a winking face after a good luck on the pitch that felt like foreplay. Lena flew over mid-month, crashing my flat with gin and glitter. He ghosted your ass across an ocean? Tragic. We hit the clubs, Soho's pulse, bodies grinding under strobes, and I flirted reckless. A tattooed artist with a lip ring, a finance bro with abs for days. But kisses soured, hands foreign. I bailed every time, blaming jet lag. You're punishing yourself, Lena said over fry-ups at Dishoom. He panicked. TOs don't do love, too busy conquering. Love, I scoffed, but the word lodged, thorn sharp. Back home, work, the merger fallout rippled. Tokyo partners suing, stock dipping 8%. Mason's face on Bloomberg, gaunt, defiant. I emailed support data dives, strategy memos, but replies were clipped. Appreciated. Focus on London. Month 2. A video call, board mandated. His office backdrop, Ty strangling him. You're killing it over there. Regulators eating from your hand. Thanks to your playbook. Awkward pause. Pixels between us. Miss the coffee runs? His laugh ghosted. Miss you. Soft. Like the whisper that started it all. Screen froze, cruel tease, and when it thawed, armor back, quarterly report due Friday. I hung up, punching the wall till knuckles bled. Miss you. Bait or breakthrough. Easter break. I bolted to Paris. Impulse. Eurostar to escape. Wandered Montmartre. Sketching in notebooks I'd abandoned. The sane whispering what-ifs. Postcard to Mason. City of lights lonely without shadows. Mailed. Reckless. No return. It arrived stateside, and his text pinged as I boarded back. Shadows missed the light. Come home. Heart somersault. But homecoming soured fast. Promotion extended, indefinitely. Email from HR. CC'd to him. Strategic alignment. Called voice steal. Indefinite or until I'm forgettable. Noah. Static. Then it's protection. The board sniffing. That tip? It was her, my ex. Digging dirt. Betrayal doubled. So you let her win? Ship me off like a dirty secret. I fucked up. Raw. Breaking. But I can't lose you. Not to this circus. Then fight for me. Silence. Then click. And call. Summer-scorched London. Record heat. Tempers flaring. My team noticed. Yank's always so intense? I dated once. A curator. Kind eyes. Shared playlists, but comparing him to Mason Storm felt criminal. Broke it off over tea. Timing's shit. August. Crisis redux. London branch hacked. Mirroring the leak. Code pilfered. FBI looped in. Interpol breathing down. I led the purge. 72 hours, no sleep. Caffeine veins. Mason flew over unannounced. Private jet. Landing at dawn. Storming the war room in rumpled chinos. Hair wild. His presence hit like lightning. Filling the doorway. I scanning till they locked on me, haggard. Shirt untucked. But alive. Brief me. We huddled, white-barred, scrawled. Coffee cold, his shoulder brushing mine deliberate. Post-crisis. Team dispersed. We lingered. Alone in the dim. You handled it. Like a pro. Learned from the best. I leaned on the table. Exhaustion cracking. Why here? Mason? Really? He closed the distance. Hands framing my face. Thumbs wiping phantom sweat. Because I can't breathe without you. The penthouse echoes. The office is a tomb. I was wrong pushing you away. It was fear. Of this. His forehead pressed mine. Breath mingling. Of loving you. Love. Again. Detonating. I surged up. Kissing him fierce. Months of ache pouring out. Tongues tangling. His groan vibrating through me. He lifted me onto the table. Papers scattering. Hands everywhere. Unbuttoning. Caressing. Claiming. Here, I gasped. Half laugh. Everywhere. He dropped to knees. Mouth hot on my skin, throat. Chest. Lower, worship slow. Deliberate. Drawing moans I couldn't stifle. I threaded fingers in his hair. Arching as he took me deep. Eyes locked upward. Green fire promising forever. After pants zipped hasty. Cheeks flushed, we laughed breathless. Scandalous, I teased. Worth it, he kissed my palm. Come back. Properly. We'll face the board together. Elation ward caution. And the policy? The ex. Fuck 'em both. Grin wolfish. You're my future. Noah. He stayed a week, hotel suite shared. Nights tangled in Egyptian cotton. Days plotting return. Mornings. Croissants and strategy. Evenings. Walks along the Thames. His arm casual around me. World fading. One night. Under Big Ben's chime. Marry me. Not now, someday. When the dust settles. I froze. Joy spiking terror. Mason. Think on it. Soft. No pressure. But the ring box in his pocket, empty promise, burned. Return to NYC. Heroes welcome. Promotion cemented. But shadows loomed. Board meeting. Mason outed the ex's sabotage, hired PI. Ironclad proof. She lawyered up. Countersuit brewing. Defamation. Emotional distress. Tabloids sniffed blood. ICE CEO's fiery ex. Revenge or romance? Us. We played it cool, office proximity electric. Stolen kisses in stairwells. Dinners at his place. Home-cooked pasta. Top Chef rejects. Laughter-filling voids. But pressure mounted. A gala whisper. Hale's got a boy toy. That assistant? Lena. Wedding bells or warning bells? October harvest moon. We escaped to the Hamptons, his beach house, waves crashing like applause. Bonfire on the sand, marshmallows charred, his head on my lap. Remember the retreat? He murmured, fingers tracing my thigh. How could I forget? You stared like I was the merger prize. You were. Kiss soft. Still are. We made love under stars, slow, reverent, his whispers poetry. Mine, always. Dawn brought clarity. I want the world to know. After the suit clears, but suits drag. November gale. Ex's deposition leaked. Twisted tales of Mason's cold heart. Implying affairs. Gaslighting. Stock tanked again. Board fracturing. He withdrew late-night solo. Scotch reappearing. Just until it's over, he'd say, kissing my forehead like dismissal. Doubt crept. Was I anchor or albatross? Thanksgiving. Family farce at his sister's in Connecticut, suburbs straight edge. Turkey dry. I met the clan. Mom's ghost in photos. Sister wary. Niece tugging my sleeve. Uncle Mason smiles more now. Dinner prayer. Grace for second chances. His hand under the table squeezed mine. Lifeline. But post-pie. In the guest room. They're asking questions, he confessed. Pacing. About us. I stonewalled. But truth hurts less than lies. I pulled him down. Bodies aligning. We're good. Mason. Real. He melted. Love urgent. Hands mapping me like braille. Thrusts deep. Declarations gasped. Love you, fuck. Love you. Climax crashed waves. But after, he stared ceiling. What if I ruin you too? You won't. Kiss to seal. But seed planted. December deep freeze. Suit settled, her payout hush money. NDA iron. Relief party. Sterling holiday bash. MoMA this time. Warhol prints watching. Mason cornered me by the Pollux. Ask me again. Heart stutter. Marry me. Grin breaking ice. Yes. God. Yes. We announced quiet, close circle. Lena shrieking over Zoom. But joy short-lived. New Year's Eve. Gala at the plaza. Champagne towers. Times Square countdown on screens. Midway. His ex crashes, tipsy, vengeful. Mic in hand at the karaoke setup. To Mason Hale. The man who freezes hearts. Laughter awkward. Then her slur. Bet he's thawed for his little assistant boy. Saw the photos. Disgusting. Gasps rippled. Mason paled. Storming stage. Enough. But damage done. Phones out. Tweets firing. Hale scandal trending. We fled to the coat room. His face ashen. Noah. Not your fault. But tears pricked. Exposure raw. Queer love weaponized. Outside. Snow swirling. He pulled me close. We'll weather it. Together. But together cracked under spotlight. The scandal erupted like Vesuvius. Hale outed buried under rainbows and pitchforks. Ex ablaze with takes. CO closet case? From trolls. Love wins from allies. Sterling stock hemorrhaged 12%. Board convened emergency. Fraternization breach. Resign or litigate. Mason fought, lawyers circling wagons, PR spin on personal matters, but exhaustion etched him hollow. Mornings. Coffee untouched, my hand on his rebuffed. Can't think, he'd mutter, holing in the office, door locked. I tiptoed around him, prepping depositions, dodging reporters at the lobby. Lena rallied. Drag brunch turned strategy sesh, mimosas and manifestos. Sue the bitch for defamation. Or go nuclear, wedding announcement. Too soon, but the ring platinum band, engraved solitude strength, burned in my pocket. Proposal paused. January thaw, board ultimatum. Mason steps down interim. I relocate again. He raged in the penthouse. Scotch shattering glass. They can't. This is ours. Ours. But fracture lines spidered. That night, fight ugly. You're choosing them over me, I yelled, packing a bag. No. He grabbed my wrist, eyes wild. I'm choosing us. Fighting dirty means losing you forever. I yanked free, door slamming echo. Bushwick again. Couch at Lena's, tears soaking sequins. He loves you, fool. But love's a battlefield, queer love. Double time. Week of radio silence, him in meetings, me job hunting covert, freelance gigs, indie tech startups sniffing my resume. Pride stung. 3 years reduced to footnote. Reunion, his text. 2 a.m. Harbor. Now. I cabbed to Brooklyn Bridge Park. Wind whipping East River. Skyline mocking. He waited on the pier. Coat flapping. Face gaunt under lamps. I'm sorry. For everything. Forgiven. I stepped close, but he held up hands, barrier. No. Listen. Voice breaking. The board's right. I'm poison, leaks, scandals. Now this. You deserve normal. A partner who doesn't drag you through tabloids. Heart plummeted. Mason. Stop. I can't. Tears tracked his cheeks. First I'd seen. I whispered your name that night because I was losing you. In my head. To the job. To fear. But now, I'm setting you free. Betrayal crested. Wave crashing. Free? This is cowardice. You proposed. And I'd ruin it. He pressed the ring into my palm. Cold metal. Warm skin. Keep it. Remember me kindly. He walked away. Silhouette dissolving into night. Leaving me clutching promise turned poison. Grief swallowed February. Valentine's alone. Chocolates uneaten. Gatsby dog-eared to death. Work severed, severance fat. Non-compete chaining me to limbo. Lena dragged me to therapy. Trauma's a bitch. Process. Don't pickle. Sessions unearthed Ohio ghosts. Coming out at 16. Dad's silent disown. Mom's teary hugs. Mason's my dad 2.0, I confessed. Abandonment in a suit. Spring bloomed cruel. Cherry blossoms in Central Park. Couples picnicking. I freelanced AI ethics blog. Voice rising in queer tech circles. Panel at South by Southwest. Innovation without integrity kills. Crowd nodded. Post talk. A recruiter. Google's interested. But Mason haunted. Sightings in the post. Hail back at helm. Solo. Bachelor again. ICE reformed. One night. Week. I texted, miss the frost. No reply. May. Lena's wedding, Vegas elopement. Drag chapel kitsch. I flew solo. slot machines blurring tears. I'll walk as best man, vows choking me. In chaos, you choose me. Post-ceremony, drunk on my ties. Grinder ping, faceless torso. Bio looking for thaw. Hooked up in the Bellagio. Frantic. Forgettable. His name Mason on my lips accidental. Guilt gnawed return. June heat wave. Sublet in Williamsburg. Rooftop parties I ghosted. Then, email ping. Sterling invite. Annual retreat. Hamptons. All hands. MH insists. Insists. Hope flickered. Suicidal. Retreat weekend. Shuttle from Penn. Tension thick as humidity. Mansion sprawled beachfront. Same trust falls, but scars fresh. I arrived last. Bag slung. Avoiding eyes. Mason held court by the pool. Tanned. Tie-free. Laughing with VPs like old times. Our gazes clashed. His faltered. Drink paused mid-sip. Icebreaker. Groups. My knot with interns. Laughter forced. But peripheral him watching. Green eyes lasers. Dinner. Long table. Lobster bisque steaming. He sat opposite. Small talk barbed. London treated you well? Like exile. Fork scraped plate. His jaw ticked. Necessary evil. Post-dinner. Bonfire redux. Esmores sticky. I wandered dunes. Waves therapy. When footsteps crunched. Him shirt unbuttoned. Firelight gilding. Noah. Don't. But he closed in. Scent overwhelming. I was wrong. Again. Hands hovered. Then dropped. Seeing you today, fuck. Gutted me. The ring? I stare at the empty spot like a fool. Then why? Voice cracked. Why push? Fear. Always fear. He sank to sand. Head in hands. After you left, I drank bad. Slept with a ghost of you. Some bar pickup who said your name wrong. Woke hating myself. Sympathy ward rage. I knelt, tilting his chin. I'm here. Still, I searched, drowning. But the board. Screw them, echoing his words. Kiss initiated me to him. Salt and smoke. His surrender instant. Hands fisted my shirt. Pulling flush. Groan buried in my neck. Noah, please. We tumbled to blanket. Dunes shielding, urgent. Reclaiming. Clothes shed to stars. His mouth mapping scars of absence. Fingers curling inside me whisper soft. Missed this. Missed you. Entry slow. Eyes locked. Rhythm building to crescendo. Names gasped like oaths. Release shattering quiet. After. Tangled. His head on my chest. No more running. Promise. Ring slipped back. Fit perfect. July Inferno. We rebuilt stealth, weekends Hamptons, midweek trysts in his jet to DC. Board sniffed, but proof elusive. PR painted him, recommitted bachelor. I consulted freelance. Bridges burned but new spanning. TEDx talk booked. Queer code. Love in algorithms. August. Ex's shadow new lawsuit. Harassment claims twisted from our gala clash. Lawyers dueled. Stress reignited his frost. One night. Post-argument. Marry me now. Elopement. Vegas. Like Lena. Heart soared. Yes. But omens. Flight delayed. His phone buzzing relentless. Vegas chapel. Neon Elvis. Our vows shaky. In sickness. Scandal. Rings exchanged. Kiss sealed under heart bulbs. Honeymoon. Impromptu Tahoe lake cabin. Pines whispering. Days hiking. Nights porches wing slow. His fingers in mine. Stories spilled. Boyhood crushes hidden. First kiss stolen in Queen's Alley. You saved me, he said. Stars crown. You woke me. Lovemaking lazy. Lake lapping counterpoint. Return. Bliss bubble burst. Airport paparazzi. Leaked elopement? Headlines screamed. Hale weds assistant. Scandal or sham? Bored fury. Emergency vote. Mason ousted. Me vilified as gold digger. We hold in the penthouse. World raging outside. Fight, I asked, wine trembling. He paced, defeated. Or fold. Sell shares. Start fresh. Fresh. Tempting terror. September equinox. Decision dawn. Resignation joint. Presser poised. Personal happiness over empire. But twist. Loyalists rebelled. Shareholder vote pending. Allies emerged, queer investors. Ethics advocates. Stand ground. Mason chose. We fight. For us. Climax brewed. Boardroom showdown. October full moon. Suits sharks. Us prey. Vows renewed silent under table. His knee mine anchor. Testimony poured. Love's origin. Leaks irrelevance. Vision intact. Vote teetered 51-49 our favor. Victory Pyrrhic. Empire scarred. But ours. November snow dusted the city like absolution, blanketing wounds from the boardroom brawl. Sterling stabilized, stock rebounding, headlines shifting to Hale's queer triumph. Love conquers corporate. We emerged bruised icons. Mason back at helm, me elevated chief ethics officer, voice in the machine. Paparazzi faded, replaced by pride flags in the lobby, a subtle rainbow pin on his lapel. Life normalized, if normal meant married to your ex-boss in a penthouse that felt like home. Mornings. Shared espresso, his lips on my neck as I frothed oat milk. Mr. Ellis Hale, he tease, signing briefs with our hyphenated empire. Mr. Hale Ellis, I'd counter, stealing bites of his toast. Office, glass walls stayed, but doors ajar, stolen glances, lunch meetings in supply closets, laughter echoing memos. Challenges lingered, ex's appeal dragged, therapy joint, unpacking his isolation armor, my abandonment scars. We're human, therapist said. Flawed code, debugging together. Holiday season, first as husbands. Tree in the penthouse, dragged up ourselves, ornaments clinking like toasts. His sister's Connecticut again, niece shrieking uncles. At our rings, turkey moist this year, prayers for love unbroken. Mom's ghost smiled from photos, proving. New Year's, quiet, just us on the terrace, fireworks blooming over the bridge, his arms banded tight. 1 year, he murmured, nuzzling my jaw. From whisper to this, best plot twist, fireworks mirrored ours, slow burn to blaze, bodies swaying to distant cheers, hands wandering under coats. Back inside, lovemaking tender, candles guttering, his eyes soft in glow, whispers vows renewed. Forever, Noah, always, Mason, spring renewal, TED Talk crushed, coding compassion, queer lessons in tech, standing ovation, his front row, tears unashamed. Post-party. After-hours club. Lena DJing. Us grinding shameless. Rings glinting strobes. Summer solstice. Hampton's vow. Beach ceremony redo. Closed circle. Waves officiating. Barefoot. Lays from Lena's drag flare. Sunset ceiling. I choose you, he said. Sand shifting. Every storm. Honeymoon sequel. Iceland. Geysers erupting like joy. Hot springs steaming secrets. Northern lights danced our private aurora. Bodies slick under auroral veils. Love cosmic. Fall harvest. Surprise. Pregnancy? No. Adoption whispers. Agency visits. Profiles polished. Two dads. City savvy. Hearts full. Niece's playdates practice. His terror melting to tenderness. A family, he breathed, hand on mine over blueprints. But humanism's edge, not fairy tale flawless. Fights flared, his workaholic relapses, my freelance wanderlust. One blizzard night. Argument escalated. Door slammed. Me in cab to Lena's. Midnight call. Come back. Please. Streets slick. I returned, hug fierce. Apologies in sheets. We're worth the mess. Resolution bloomed quiet. Anniversary eve. 1 year wed. Dinner at Lou Bernardine. Full circle. No VCs. Just us. Au revoir. He slid a box. Leather journal. Blank pages. Your stories. Write us. Tears pricked. Our epic. Dessert. Soufflé rising. His knee mine under table. Home. Penthouse aglow. Bed waiting. Undress ritual, ties loosened. Shirts shed. Scars kissed. He entered slow. Eyes locked. Love you whisper. Shout. Eternal. Climax gentle, waves building. Names on lips like grace. After. Tangled. City humming lullaby. Happy? He asked. Fingers tracing my ring. Beyond. Kiss seals. You thawed me. You woke me. Sleep came easy. Dreams shared. Epilogue dawn. Coffee brewing. His phone buzz bored good. Adoption match pending. Life's script unwritten. But ours? Co-authors. Plot thick with love's controversy. Emotion's depth. Romance's fire. In America's heart, flawed. Fierce, we carved space. Two men. Whispered to wed. Unbreakable. Humanity's gift. Not perfection, but persistence. In each other's arms, we persisted softly, surely, forever.